It's funny how love sneaks in through the places you least expect it, like through a screen full of insults. I never thought the guy who tore me apart online would be the same one who made my heart feel like it had finally found a home. But America has a cruel sense of humor, and I was about to learn it the hard way. The first time I noticed him was in a comment thread gone to hell. I was defending a musician I admired, typing furiously after a long day of classes. That's when he appeared, username Strummer89. Every word he posted was sharp, dripping with sarcasm, and directed straight at me. He didn't hold back, called me naive, delusional, even pathetic. And I, being the hot-headed fool I was, gave it back twice as hard. What started as a debate turned into a weekly battlefield. Weeks passed. His replies came fast, clever, cutting. And yet, I couldn't stop waiting for them. Somewhere deep down, I started craving our fights. It wasn't just about music, Anna Maria, it was about him. His words stuck to me long after I logged off, like invisible fingerprints pressing into my chest. It wasn't until one late night, scrolling through endless posts, that he messaged me directly. My phone buzzed. I stared at the screen, half tempted to ignore it. But curiosity won. "You're smarter than you act," he wrote. I almost laughed. This was the guy who called me an idiot for 2 months straight. "And you're meaner than you look," I shot back. That was the first time we stopped fighting and started talking. The messages turned into long conversations. We shared songs, traded jokes, even confessed things we never told anyone else. He told me about his messed up family life in Texas. The nights he'd sit in his truck staring at the stars, wondering if there was a place he belonged. I told him about the loneliness of growing up in New York, how I drowned it out with music and coffee shop gigs. And then came the confession that changed everything. "I don't actually hate you," he typed. My chest tightened. "You act like you do," I replied. "That's because I like you. A lot." I froze. My hands hovered above the keyboard, trembling. All those insults, all those nights replaying our words in my head, they weren't hatred. They were longing in disguise. But things are never that simple, are they? We decided to meet in person. It happened in a small cafe in Chicago, halfway between us, on a rainy afternoon. I walked in, dripping wet, scanning the room. And there he was, leaning against the window, leather jacket over a gray hoodie, hair messy like he hadn't bothered to fix it. His eyes met mine, and for a second, the whole cafe blurred out. "You're late," he smirked, but his voice shook. "You're real," I whispered. The tension was unbearable, like two magnets fighting not to touch. We talked for hours, but under every word was the same truth. We were terrified. Terrified of what we felt, terrified of being wrong. When I reached for my coffee, my hand brushed his. He didn't pull away. He held it there, trembling, as if one touch could break the dam he had built around himself. That night I kissed him. Just once, soft and shaky, like testing a fragile bridge to see if it would hold. He kissed me back, desperate and hungry, like he'd been waiting his whole life. But happiness has a cruel way of slipping through your fingers. The world outside wasn't ready for us. His father found out, called him names I won't repeat, kicked him out of the house. I wanted to help, but I was just a broke student barely keeping my head above water. He drove north, crashing at a friend's place, but the weight of rejection pressed on him like a storm. He started pulling away, answering my calls less, brushing off my concern. One night, after weeks of silence, he texted me, "Maybe we should stop. You deserve someone easier." I wanted to scream. Instead, I typed back, "You're not a problem to solve. You're the person I love." He didn't answer. The days that followed were brutal. Every cafe felt empty without him. Every song I played on my guitar sounded hollow. I thought maybe he was gone for good, that maybe I'd dreamed up the whole thing, the sarcasm, the laughter, the trembling kiss. But love, real love, doesn't vanish so easily. It happened weeks later. I was performing at a small bar in Brooklyn, barely holding myself together, when I saw him. Standing in the back, soaked in rain, clutching his jacket like it was the only thing keeping him alive. Our eyes locked. I kept playing, fingers shaking, voice cracking, but I couldn't look away. After the set, he came up, lips trembling. "I'm sorry," he whispered. I grabbed his jacket, pulled him close, and kissed him like the world could fall apart and I wouldn't care. He broke down in my arms, sobbing, telling me he didn't know how to love without fear, didn't know how to stop pushing people away. And I told him he didn't have to. I wasn't going anywhere. Now, months later, we live together in a small apartment with cracked walls and sunlight that spills in like golden forgiveness. We fight sometimes, still sarcastic as hell, but when he laughs and falls against me on the couch, I remember the boy behind the Usernameth one who turned his hatred into love, and his love into something real. It wasn't an easy story. It was messy, painful, and terrifying, but it was ours. And somewhere between the insults, the silence, and the storms, we found a truth that feels unshakable. Sometimes love doesn't come softly. Sometimes it crashes through your walls, disguised as the last person you'd ever expect. And when it does, you realize it was never hate. It was always love waiting to be seen. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.